Hi, welcome back to NTV Unscripted, and this is our second episode. It's so lovely to see you. I'm your host, Victoria Beale. Now today we have a very, very special show for you. Our theme is extraordinary mothers and their extraordinary children, and it just so happens that we have three extraordinary children of extraordinary mothers with us today. One here in the studio, our beautiful Sheila Smith, who's the CEO of Your Business Expo. And we have two fabulous guests overseas, Matt Willis in the Dominican Republic, who is the world's #1 travel blogger and one of the top 50 LinkedIn influencers, and my other good friend Rachel Beck, who is also a top 50 LinkedIn influencer and an acclaimed author. Guys, thank you for coming today. Thank you for spending the time with us. Lovely to see you.
Thanks for the invite.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, it's an honor.
It's an absolute honour having you here today. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly straight across to Rachel because, as you well know, March the 8th was International Women's Day, and tomorrow here in the UK is Mother's Day. So we're going to talk to these three special guests about the influence that their mothers had on their lives, on their careers. And so over to Rachel in Florida. Rachel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I want to wish Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in England tomorrow. We celebrate in May in America. But Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who are celebrating in England tomorrow.
Thank you, my darling. And all over the world. I think we've got some other Mother's Days going on in different parts of the world. But let's talk to you now about your extraordinary life, Rachel. You've had an amazing life, and there's still so much more to go. Tell us about your heritage, your mother, and just tell us a bit about that and how she has impacted your life.
I have been very blessed to have three mothers in my life. I have my biological mother who passed away 2 days after giving born. I've had a foster mother who took me into her home before I was adopted, and I have my mom who adopted me and raised me. So I've been very blessed, and I stand on the shoulders of these women. I am me because of them. I've had two, a woman who gave her life so I could exist, and I don't forget that any single day.
That's an amazing story to have three mothers. You are blessed. So tell us about your, sadly your mother passed away, as you said, and then where did you go? You went to an orphanage. Tell us about that and what happened afterwards.
I went in, I was dropped off by somebody when I was a couple months old to a house. The house that somebody on the door to ended up being the founder of an orphanage that is still existing today. I was borderline comatose, about to die, and she took me in and she saved my life. And eventually I was adopted. And everything I do, I get up every day because I never forget where I came from, ever. There are people who have sacrificed so I could live.
It's an amazing start to an incredible journey, because as you started to grow and go through puberty and get older, and you had this wonderful adopted mother who you call your mother to this day. I think we have a picture. One of our producers will show the picture soon of you and your beautiful family. But tell us about some of these achievements that you've had in your adolescence, and then we'll talk about your career as an author, as a photographer, and stuff that you're doing now.
No, I've been really blessed by the mentors you were talking about, that we are closing out Women's Month. I've been blessed by very strong females in my life. My mother, my aunt, is also a huge mentor in my life. All of them have passed on their knowledge, which I believe as women we need to pass that on to the next generation. We need to open the doors for the next generation, because there are women in front of us who have done it for us. That is really important to me.
And in terms of your sort of careers and the things that you've achieved in that respect, what kind of impact did your mum have on those elements of your life?
A huge impact. My mother was a teacher for many years. And then she also, when I was growing up, my mother also started her own companies. And she ran them while raising children, which was wonderful, what a great example. So order in the home to say, I can raise the family, work the hours, do what is necessary. She was at every sporting event, it's like, got older, right? And I could do my own. She didn't miss anything. And that is something when I look back and I think about her, and she lives very close to me, so I see her a lot. She was there. She showed up. And as she gets older, I will continue to show up for her whenever she needs me. It's really important to me. And they taught me, be who you want to be. Go out there. Life is short. Do what is necessary. So if I have a question, because my aunt too, highly successful, started a company, they're a text away. So if I'm doubting myself, or I'm wondering if I'm doing the right thing, or am I using my voice the way it was supposed to be used, I have these incredible women saying, Rach, keep going. What you do is so important.
That's amazing. And boy, have you taken that relay stick and ran with it. You tell the NTV family what you've been doing predominantly in your careers and what you're doing now.
Right now what I do is I am an author. I produce a show every day. I'm a social media influencer, and I'm a public speaker. I've been a public speaker for 15 years. I'm a retired photographer. I ran that company for 10 years. And now I have been working very hard to get my network through this pandemic. I haven't left them, took one day off in 3 years, because social media is a huge responsibility and people are really hurting right now. And I think it's crucial to use your platform to help people, to provide value, to educate them, to motivate them, to inspire them. It's important for them to realize it's a symbiotic relationship. People are struggling right now. People are hurting right now. They're dealing with really serious issues. So I check in with people. I want to know if they're okay. I believe that social media can be used for good and not bad. And that is what I'm trying to do, to lead by example every single day.
And that you do really well, Rachel. You really are amazing at what you do. And during the lockdown, when you and I have obviously become very good friends and very close, let's just tell the NTV community what you've actually achieved and the amazing things that you're going to go on to achieve now on this LinkedIn platform.
I've been really fortunate and honored to be honored this year as one of the top 50 most influential people on LinkedIn. And I say that in the most humbling way because there are so many influential people on LinkedIn. So it really, truly was an honor for me to receive this. We have a gift. We have talents. The difference is whether or not we're using them to take this world forward. And sometimes we need people. I've had the mentors in my life who saw things inside of me that I didn't see in myself. So the question is, as this world is suffering, we all know what's going on right now in this planet, are we using it to take this world forward? That is our responsibility. We know what's going on. We know the chaos of the world. We know the chaos that's been going on for the last 3 years. We know the hurting, the hurt, the suffering. So all we have to do is make that responsible choice, get up and do your part to make this world a better place.
Yeah, and you're doing an amazing job. I mean, we're just about to go to commercial break very shortly. That time has flown past. But just what's the sort of takeaway would you like to leave for the audience?
I want to add this. I am not a mother. I've lost 2 children through a miscarriage. I've had a failed adoption. The definition of what a mother is not the same as it used to be. And that's what I think people need to realize. Just because somebody is not a mother in this world, it does not mean we don't have something to offer this world.
That's amazing. Well, I know anyone listening or watching this show today, there's a number that you can call, and we are literally 1 minute till our commercial break. Rachel, there's some people I think you should actually, if you want to mention or announce or shout out to, this is the right opportunity to do that.
I would like to mention the orphanage and what I'm doing for them. Part of the proceeds, I'm also an author, part of the proceeds of my book are being donated back to Family Village Farm in India. I come from Tamil Nadu. It's in a very small town inside of Tamil Nadu. And this is what I'm going to do. I have this goal that I am trying to reach. Until I hit that goal to help my orphanage, I'm not going to stop. And then when I hit across this world. So people who are understanding that this is what I'm trying to do is to go across this world, and my partner is going to be talking about is to bless this world. But all this requires help, it requires, finances, but in order to do this. But we're going to get there, and we're not going to quit until it is the day we begin our orphanage tour.
Thank you, my darling. That's amazing. So with that, thank you, Rachel Beck, so much. We will hear from you later. Please do call us in. And now we're going to go to a commercial break. Welcome back to NTV Unscripted. This is our second part of the show, and I'm delighted to introduce you to Matt Willis, who is the world's #1 travel blogger. He's based out in the Dominican Republic, but he's also recently been given the accolade for top 50 LinkedIn influencer. Matt, how are you, my darling? How are you?
Doing terrific, Victoria. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you, NTV, and what a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on, honestly, it's an honour. We're talking about mothers today, our extraordinary mums, and obviously you are an extraordinary child of an extraordinary mother. So I'm really interested to know about your mum, first of all. Tell us a bit about her, and then let's hear about the impact she had on your life.
Well, by the way, happy Mother's Day to all of those around the world, especially there in England tomorrow.
Thank you.
What a tremendous job I think it is to be a mother, and I think I highly lift up women on the platform on LinkedIn, and I just was impacted so much by my mother, her encouragement, her love. And it's just an honor. I lost her to cancer 2 years ago, but her words and her encouragement are still with me, and it impacted my life to no end. So my mother, her name was Georgia Kelly, and I sure love her, miss her. She's graduated to heaven, and it's just an honor to be her son, and I want to continue to honor her through the rest of my life. And so yes, she used to read me. I'll give you a little story. There's a little book called I Think I Can, The Little Red Train That Could. I didn't realize the impact of it, but I also highlighted on my LinkedIn post. And it was this little train that would go up the hill, and she said, I think I can, I think I can, I know I can, I know I can. And just that mentality that as a mother poured into me. Those little books you may not think are meaning a lot to you mothers out there for your children, that encouragement, that love, those hugs, those pats on the backs, they really, really impact your child's life. So don't stop. Continue to be that great mother in your life. And I was really impacted by my wonderful mother, Georgia. I also had a wonderful stepmother as well at 5 years old, Willis, that was a huge impact in my life as well. So I have two beautiful mothers that helped raise me, and I'm really, 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 really blessed, man, for that. Thank you for asking.
No, absolute pleasure. So she sounds like an amazing woman. Were you brought up in a fairly religious household? Was it, faith
yes,
strong?
Just loving God and doing the right thing, the basics, so it was important to us to, just live the golden rule, be good to others, love God and love others. And I think that's good for every person on this earth. You can't go wrong by living that golden rule. And so I'm very, very grateful for that. And that's the important thing is just be good to people, and my mother, she never had an enemy. I mean, she always was encouraging and loving and building people up. And and helping the homeless. And as a child, I was like, wow, this is a little irritating, Mom. Why do you always have to be complimentary and loving people? And as I get older, I realize that living that life of encouragement and edification and building people up is the best way to live. And I do pray daily for the good Lord to help me have that perspective in life so that I can love and encourage and edify people and help them on their journey. So so she was a great impact in my life, and so thank you so much for asking.
No, it's a pleasure. So let's talk about you now, because obviously your mum has had a huge impact on your life, and you had a very strong family. In terms of what you're doing now, how did this career blow to the point where you're now a top 50 LinkedIn influencer? Tell us the story.
Yeah, well, I started my first little business at 16 years old out of necessity. My brother got his car burnt up, so my parents bought him a car, and they said, oh, your brother's car burnt up, so we're not going to buy you a car. I was disappointed and hurt for about 2 or 3 days, but they had a plan. My stepmother and my mother got together, and also my dad, but mostly the women, and they said, Matt, we want to help you start a business. Both of my stepmother and my dad are retired fire chiefs, so very well-to-do professionals. And they said, the fire department and the police department have a difficulty finding the house because they can't see the number of the house. It's just a little bitty number on the mailbox. Matt, we're going to buy you stencils. Why don't you go out and sell to the house, paint the numbers of the street, the house number on the curb, so the police department and the fire department can find the house efficiently and save lives. So I did. I went out and I would make $300 to $400 on a Saturday. I had employees started working for me at 17 years old, and that was my first business. So that was one of the greatest gifts that my parents gave me. I didn't get a car, but they helped me start a business on my entrepreneur journey. And from there, I went in sales and was top in my field there. But I was kind of really discouraged about the work community, and I wanted my own freedom. I wanted to live on an island like I am now. I wanted to travel. I wanted to be able to be mobile. So I started researching how to start an online business in 2006. And my mentor was making $100,000 a month, and he taught me SEO and pay-per-click and video marketing. And I said, I never met anybody traveling the world making that kind of money. I said, I'm really going to listen to this guy. And I did. I passed about the number one income earner in the company within 5 months, was able to travel the world, took 17 vacations that year, made a lot of money. And then when I discovered LinkedIn, I really like that platform because it's a business premise. It's not Facebook or Instagram, or it's mostly business, and people are serious there. And when the open up video in 4 years ago on LinkedIn, I made most of my money by attracting people through video strategies and marketing and going to waterfalls and beaches. So I displayed my lifestyle and my business acumen there. And so what happened, I started taking that talent that I had and putting it on LinkedIn. And I got recognized as one of the best video strategists in the world. And so my colleagues voted me in the top 50 with Rachel. Actually, you guys have 2 of the top 50 in the world. By the way, there's 774 million people on that platform. It was purchased by Microsoft for $26.2 billion. It is the most powerful social media platform in the world. It's growing at 33% every single month, and it is absolutely exploding over there. And so we are honored to be some of the top influencers in the world, and we're using our platform for good and giving back. And we just love people, love to see people, come out of depression. We love to see people start businesses. We love to see people do all kinds of amazing things. So that's a little bit of my journey and how I got there. Thank you for asking.
Oh, pleasure. It's so interesting. I mean, you're just an amazing person to talk to. And in terms of your achievements, I think you've built multiple organisations, haven't you, and exited, and you kind of help people now on a mentorship basis. But what other exciting things are you doing? And please tell us about some of the stuff you're doing with Rachel, because that's really exciting.
Yeah, some of that is underground right now, but we're moving pretty heavily in the metaverse arena. We've got some interesting things that are coming up. Stay tuned in that arena. But with the platform of LinkedIn and being one of the top business celebrities in the world, Rachel and I, she is my business partner and friend, and also we do have a dream of traveling the world and helping these orphans around the world, and starting off at Rachel's orphanage in India and going throughout all the world. We're getting reached out to by production companies, people that do that kind of stuff, and so we are going to continue to give back. I wasn't an orphan, but I was almost aborted in the womb. My father thought that he couldn't afford me at 20 years old. They already had a 2-year-old child. My mother said, no, we're going to have Matthew, and we're going to name his name Matthew, which means gift of God. And so I escaped, a possible threat of being aborted. And so I really have a love for children as well, too. I have an organization called World Discovery Cares where we help widows and orphans and people in need. And so, and I also built a company called World Discovery Club, helping people travel the world for pennies on the dollar, and kind of took my skill sets of being a businessman and traveling and so forth and built that with my company. But what I'm most excited about is just loving on people, where we're getting invitations all around the world to speak at events and do all kinds of shows and special appearances. And we just want to use this platform for an impact on others and love on people. That's, to us, that's the most important.
Yeah, no, you're doing a fantastic job, and you are going to be globally recognised even more so around the world this time next year. I can see that. So, Matt, just to finish, if someone wants to connect with you, or your sort of what are you looking for at the moment in terms of contacts or anything? Is there anything that you need right now that maybe the community can help you with?
Most of all, just come on LinkedIn, Matt Willis, M-A-T-T, Willis, W-I-L-L-I-S, and connect with us there. Send us a message, say hello if we can help you in any way there. If you're a company, a corporation, you're a business event, you're an expo, and you have an interest in having Rachel and I come and speak and encourage, get in touch with Victoria or Rachel and I, and we'd love the opportunity to encourage you and love on you and teach you some of these secrets and strategies. I'll tell you, the best decision I ever made in my life in business, and I've been very successful in business, was to start doing videos consistently on LinkedIn. I would give anybody that. I don't care if you're a billionaire. I don't care if you're already the richest man in the world. Your impact and your wealth creation and your connections cannot get any better than going to LinkedIn and getting out there and putting yourself out there. So I encourage you guys to do that, and if we can help you, reach out to us. Well,
you're an extraordinary person, Matt. Got to know you very, very well, and thank God for your mum who kept hold of you. So we're just about to go to a commercial break very, very shortly. Quick shout out to anyone, Matt, that you'd like to shout out to.
Well, I would like to thank NTV and the people behind this beautiful platform. I love all of you in Bangladesh and all around the world, in London and England. I would like to shout out all you amazing mothers tomorrow, including you, Victoria. Happy Mother's Day to y'all. I hope you have a blessed and beautiful and awesome, amazing Mother's Day. And thank you so much, Victoria.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. We're just about to go to a commercial break. You're wonderful. Thanks for coming on today, and I'll speak to you later. We'll go to a commercial break now. Welcome back to NTV Unscripted. This is the last session, and I tell you what, we did save the best till last, or did we? We have next to me the wonderful, beautiful Sheila Smith, one of my very gorgeous friends in business. Sheila is the CEO and founder of Your Business Expo. Yep. Sheila, it's wonderful to see you. Thank you for coming today.
Well, thank you for the invite. I'm flattered. I'm very flattered. And on this Mother's Day weekend, so happy Mother's Day, everybody. For tomorrow, and don't forget about the clocks. We spring forward tomorrow.
Yes,
we lose an hour.
We do in the UK.
In the
absolutely.
UK, we do. Yeah, sorry.
We could do with losing an hour, I think. So, Sheila.
Yes.
Now, you are an extraordinary woman, I have to say. But let's talk about the numero uno woman in your life, your mum.
Oh, my mum. Yeah. Barbara. Barbara was born in Stoke-on-Trent in 1920. She joined the forces. As soon as she could, she signed up to fight for her country, to serve her country. And she had a mobile canteen, and she drove, her first posting was to Algiers, and she drove through Europe, through Italy, and years later she wound up at the end of the Second World War in Singapore. So she was ahead of her time. She was a remarkable woman, and I'm very, very proud she was my mum.
I know you are. I know you are. And you've actually written a book, haven't you? It's in progress.
The book is in progress. I can't seem to finish it, and I can't seem to come up with a title. There will be a book, and it is based on her wartime diaries. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I can't wait for that to come out.
I'll bring it with me.
But let's talk about you now. So where was little Sheila born?
Oh, our Sheila, well, she was born in Chester, in the northwest of England, in Cheshire. And I had a very very happy, very ordinary upbringing. I had a mum and dad who loved me. I had my big sister. We lived in a little village in Cheshire, and yeah, it was horses and dogs, and it was idyllic, really. And I thought that's how everybody lived.
That's an idyllic childhood. That really is.
It was a happy time, very happy time. Yeah.
And obviously, you know, back in those days, let's say, parents were quite strict with their children, weren't they? But let's tell us about your upbringing, Sheila, because you were the youngest after all.
I was the youngest, yeah. I had a big sister, and you know, my big sister Jean, she was a textbook child. She did everything by the book. She was such a good girl, and I was a little bit of a terror. But by the time I came along, you know, my mum and dad were older. They'd been through this hoop once before, and they were very relaxed, and I think I got away with a lot. Yeah, more so than my sister.
But the thing is, because of the way you are, and the way you were, this did lead to quite an interesting sort of career, didn't it? Because you went to work in, let's say, a normal job, and then afterwards things just blossomed.
Yeah, you know, when I left school in the late 70s, it was the highest unemployment rate since the Second World War, and you know, Victoria, especially in the north of England, it was a time of miners' strikes. There was just no work, there were no opportunities. I didn't know anyone who went to university. I don't even think I knew the word university. I didn't get any opportunities to go to college, and I muddled through on job creation schemes in the first years when I left school. And then I kind of fell into being a nanny. My dad saw an advert in the Chester Chronicle for a children's nanny, so off I went. It was my first live-in position. I was 20, and that was my university. That was my graduate school, because you know, I'm 4 years out of school,
right,
and I'm living and working in beautiful homes with lords and ladies, with celebrities, business leaders, and I'm learning fast, and I'm running their homes, I'm caring for their children, and what a life I had. And do you know, the proudest takeaway that I have from those years, I think I was 8 years doing those jobs, and the proudest thing that I have, that I hold dear to me, is that I'm in contact with all of my children and all of the families all of the time, and I'm really, really proud of that.
You should be. So you basically helped other mothers, really.
I did, yeah.
And other families to live their lives, do what they were good and what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you took care of the kids.
And ran the homes.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
So how did you go from that to then being this high-profile events organiser, two of the most prestigious expos, I have to say, in Middle England, the Northamptonshire Business Expo and the Leicestershire Business Expo, which Sheila acquired recently.
Yes.
Just how did that happen, that transition?
I made it happen. As I said, I didn't go to university. I didn't have any formal education. Everything that I know, everything that I can do, I've taught myself. I taught myself to type. I've taught myself everything. And there was a gap in the market in Northamptonshire. I used to run networking groups in Northamptonshire, and people were asking for more of a showcase. So I thought, well, we'll have a go. I don't know if anyone will come, but we'll just try. Oh, did they come? Talk about build it and they'll come. So that was 2014 that I ran my first, and they've just kept getting bigger and better, and more people are on board, and I'm really, really proud of what I've achieved and what I've taught myself.
You should be. It's an amazing story. I mean, I'm in awe of you, really, with what you've achieved. So let's talk about what's coming up now. On the 28th of April,
yes, we
have got the first big live event, really, since lockdown.
Yeah, it's a step in the dark, really, Victoria, because you know, we're just back from lockdown. We're all back face to face. People are nervous. I get that. You know, we're back face to face. We're going to mingle. There's going to be close contact, but we have to do it. You can't stay locked in your spare bedroom anymore.
No,
you've got to get out and meet people, and places like this. I mean, I think I always have such a warm vibe at my expos, that very inclusive. Everybody is welcome. And I think it's time now. We need to get back out face to face, we need to make new contacts, and we need to do business.
Yes, we certainly do. And remind me the date and the venue of the Leicestershire Business Expo.
Okay, the Leicestershire Business Expo is the 28th of April from 10 till 3. It's free to attend as a visitor. There'll be lots of workshops and talks and things through the day. I'm working very closely with the students of Leicester College to give them work experience.
Very good.
They're volunteering on the day and working with me. So it'll be at the King Power Stadium, which, if anybody knows Leicester City Football Club, it's their football club.
Yeah.
And it's in the Walkers Hall, called after Walker's Crisps, which is a big deal in Leicester. And so that's where we'll be on the 28th. Everyone's welcome. And we've got so many people registered. I've got hundreds of people registered, which makes me excited.
It makes me excited as well, and we're part of it, obviously, in my company.
You're coming with me.
So let's talk about, because you are a fantastic organiser with these events, high profile business events, but of course that's not enough for Sheila, is it? Sheila has to be doing other things. Tell us about the dog rescuing and this therapy with the horses, because it's amazing, honestly.
So a few years ago I was at a networking group in Oxford, and I met a lady who had an equine therapy place in Buckinghamshire. If she was here now, she would say, the minute I met Sheila, I knew she would be part of our family. And I'm now a director of Folly Foot Healing with Horses, and we take children from challenging behaviours, from difficult backgrounds. We work with Women's Aid, and we give them a day of therapy with the horses. My own horse is a therapy horse as well, and I do therapy. And then some people asked me if I could get them a dog, and I thought, why are you asking me that for? Can I get you a dog? And
you could get everything, that's the problem.
A dog. Well, let's cut it short. I have rescued and rehomed, with the help of others, 11 dogs from Bulgaria in the last 10 months. And the most recent one came last night. So it's lovely. And, people said about changing lives for these dogs and giving them a better life. We're changing lives of the people.
Yes.
These dogs, the rescue dogs, come in and rescue the people.
They rescue the family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's fabulous.
So I'm really, really proud of that, and there's more to come there.
There is. I know. But I'm just going to go back, because there's something I want to mention about your expo, the next one coming up. You're very much, and I've noticed this about you the time that I've known you for so many years, you're always about paying it forward. You like to help small businesses in particular. You've done so many things, and you come up with so many great ideas. What are you going to do? This is quite an exclusive thing, I believe, for the small businesses of Leicester and Leicestershire region at the Expo. What's your plan?
What I would like to find is a larger company, but who's very focused on their corporate social responsibility. And I would like somebody like that to come forward and buy a block of stands that we can either raffle or people can vote for, and we can give these stands to the people who need the platform, who need to showcase their business, but they can't afford it. So let's fund their visit to the Expo. Let's get them the platform. Let's introduce them to new people. Let's get them to shout about it. And if someone could come forward and sponsor a few stands, whether it's 2 stands or 10 stands, we just talk about it, it's fine. That would make the world of difference to small businesses getting back on their feet at this difficult time.
Yeah, I think that's a lovely idea. So anyone listening, please do get in touch. So just to cap all this off, because I want the other guests to come back, and I want to sort of get some information between the three of you.
Yes.
How do people get in contact with you, Sheila?
Okay, well, I'm on LinkedIn as Sheila Smith, so you'll see my photo. On Instagram is at Sheila Social. My website is yourbusinessexpo.co.uk, and if you go onto my LinkedIn profile, my telephone number's there. I mean, I'm not shy. Just make contact however it suits you, and I do love to chat.
You've done very well. So thank you so much for joining us today.
You're so welcome.
And if anyone is listening from Walker's Crisps, we'd love to hear from you as well.
We would.
So we've got Rachel.
It's crunch time.
It's crunch time. It really is. Very, very good. So listen, Rachel, we've got you back on the screen, I believe, in Skype. You ladies have heard each other's story. I believe it's the first time you met. Let's see. If Rachel, do you have any questions for Sheila? Oh, I can't hear you. My producer. Or is it Rachel? One or the other.
Hello, Rachel.
There she is. There
Hi.
she is. The power of technology. Rach, have you got a question for our Sheila?
Sheila, how can we help you achieve your dreams today? That's what Matt and I would like to know.
Oh, help me to get the word out to the most people, to know that they are always very welcome to come and work with me to promote their business. I mean, my business is called Your Business Expo because it's not about me. It's not mine, it's yours.
Yeah, she's very good at that.
Thank you for asking that question, Rachel.
It's a great question.
You're most welcome. You are most welcome.
Now, do you have a question for Rachel?
Rachel, if we could like cross the oceans, how would I be able to help you?
Support and encouragement. That means a lot to me because it helps me to keep going because I'm responsible for over 250,000 people every day. So that support and encouragement, Victoria does it, Matt does it, and that keeps me going.
Right.
There's a common theme here, the three of you, I have to say from an outside looking in, that you've all had very strong mothers,
yes.
upbringings.
Yes.
You've all got some strong faith, some foundations of a functional family upbringing, and you just like to help people in abundance, and it's very rare to find people like that. So I'm just so pleased to have you all as my friends. I'll be honest. Do we have Matt back in the green room, Ramon? My producer is talking to me. No? Okay.
Yes, I'm in the room.
Matt's in the room. I can hear him, but he's not on the
Hello.
screen. Can we get Matt on the screen now? Yeah, okay. So Sheila, what else have we kind of covered here? Pretty much everything. Is there anything else that you would like to mention, or is there anyone else you'd like to sort of give a special shout out to? Or
Well, honestly, and I'm sure that the other guests on this show would thank you for coming up with this idea, for delivering this show, and for including people like us to get our profile out and to get the word out. So thank you for doing this.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I have to thank my sister Sabrina, our chief executive of NTV. We are all one big family, and now you're part of the NTV family, all of you.
What you're doing is incredible.
Thank you.
So, and I'm really proud to be here.
Oh, thank you. I'm proud to know you. So there's Matt. I just saw Matt flash on my screen. Right, Matt. There we go,
hello.
my darling.
Hey.
So I'm gonna say the same to you, sweetheart. What would you like to ask Sheila? Is there a question you'd like to ask our guest here?
Well, I was going to ask, how good are those fish and chips over there in England? 'Cause
Fish and chips, it's my favourite.
I like to laugh and have a good time.
Oh, it's great. Now we need a sensible question, please.
I'm sorry. Jim, I find it very amazing that you've, that you're rescuing dogs, that you have a love for animals, and I'd like to know, how'd you get started with that?
Oh, it was just by chance. Someone I know posted on Facebook about some puppies that had been abandoned in Bulgaria, and so I shared it with my network, and I switched my phone off and went to bed, and I woke up the next morning and all these dogs have been adopted and they've all got names.
Wow.
And I'm like, crikey, I did that in my sleep. I truly did that in my sleep. So that just motivated me to get more involved. I only ever talk about one dog at a time. I don't like list, oh well, there's this one and this one, this one. I take one dog from the rescue centre and I make it my focus, and I find it a good home. And yeah, and I'm proud that we've achieved that, but it's on a very small scale.
Fantastic. And then I'm going to ask you to ask Matt a question now. If Matt's still with us. There he is. Yes.
Well, Matt, you spoke about video on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And you instantly got my attention because my friend Ab is a big shot on LinkedIn, and she told me you've got to do video, and she told me I had to make a video last week, and so I did it, and I did it in one take when I was walking the dog, and I felt it was very amateur, but it's got quite a lot of views and quite a lot of interaction, so I'd like your feedback on my video.
Okay, absolutely. I'll be happy to look at it. I think video is a mega trend that's just not going away, even with our metaverse coming out. The ability to, just like this media station, we all have our media stations on social media, but this media station is using the power of video to explode to one of the biggest television stations in Asia and Europe and all over the world. So yeah, I would say that people need to get serious about that, especially on LinkedIn. I think it's a great idea. Probably the best business advice I could ever give you. I speak that all the time that I'm on the platform. So I'm proud of you on your first video, and I'm excited to see how it's going to grow. And Rachel and I are excited about helping you expand and grow on that as well.
Okay, Matt, I'm going to make another one next week.
Excellent.
I'll make sure you see it.
Absolutely.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Well, thanks. I'm going to say thank you to Matt Willis, #1 travel blogger, top 50 LinkedIn influencer, and thank you to Rachel Beck, who's our top author, acclaimed author, and top 50 LinkedIn influencer. You will see much more of them further on in the series. I'm going to say goodbye to those guys now. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're just going to wrap with, he's giving a wave there.
Bye, Matt.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So Sheila,
yes,
there's something else I want to talk to you about just before we finish the show.
Okay.
Yeah? Because all that stuff you're doing, the horses, the dogs, the major business exhibitions, there's one other thing that I want to touch on and leave with the audience. You're working with some very high profile people at the moment, celebrities. And we're not going to talk about the names, but you're doing some great things. Just tell us a bit about that and what that involves, and then we'll sort of wrap up for the day.
What it involves, again, I have no training in this, but what it involves is just opening your heart and listening and seeing where you can help and support. And I think with a high profile client, the people outside are all take. And there's very little going back the other way. So I think if you look what you can give, you will stand out from the rest. And a lot of it is a form of nannying. You know, going back to being a nanny. Yeah. And just showing your caring side. That's all it is.
I think you're just a caring person, and but you've also got a good business brain. It's a great combination. It's very rare to find someone like that. You help connect people in your expos. You literally, that's what you do. Someone spends £1 with you.
I am driven by that. Yeah.
You've been a nanny. You've been a super nanny, and you're still friends with all the kids that you looked after and the families. That is an incredible thing in itself, right? But you're also now working with people who need discretion. They need support.
Oh yeah. And
you're there as a friend, as a colleague as well. I think it's you've just done great work. So my hat goes off to you, as I said. And it's been great spending some time with you today. So just to recap, if you are in the Leicestershire region or thereabouts in business, please do come and meet. We'll all be there on the 28th of April at the King Power Stadium. It's free to attend.
It is.
There's a few exhibition stands left, I believe.
Yeah, no.
They are going fast.
They are. We've got 4 weeks.
Yeah, we've got 4 weeks to go.
Yeah, and I'm very pleased with my sales. The way that, it's been incredible.
And just to sort of finish off, is there anyone that you'd like to thank in the business world, in friendships, any people that you'd like to give a quick shout out to before we wrap up today?
One of my business consultancy clients, Anne, I mentioned her before. Anne is a great motivator to me. She is a client, and I've worked with her for the last 4 years. But she looks out for me and she cares about me. Then there's another lady I do some consultancy work for, Rita. Again, she looks out for me and she cares about me. And so they're the people I will naturally gravitate to and want to help in return. So it's ladies like that. We all support each other. There's no competition.
No.
Absolutely no competition, because I hope we all win. I think we will all win.
That's it. Well, we will. We will. If everyone has that attitude, we will. So it's for me to say thank you to my wonderful guests today. We are about to close the show yet again. It's gone far too quickly, as always. But thank you to Rachel Beck, who's based out in Florida. She is available on LinkedIn. We have Sheila here from Your Business Expo, who you can see at the King Power Stadium on the 28th of April. And Matt Willis, #1 travel blogger in the world, who's in the Dominican Republic right now. So thank you to my very, very special guests. And I'll see you next time.